Hello, everyone, and thank you, Tatiana, for the kind introduction. I'm happy to talk to you today about what's new and what's exciting for Add-on Mart. At the same time, I'm a little bit sad that this year I won't be able to be there in person and catch up with so many of you, but hopefully we'll get to do that next year. So let's jump right on in. And let's see what I'd like to share today about PortaOne Add-on Mart. So here's our agenda. So I'd like to just give you a little bit of an overview why and how Add-on Mart came to be, why we created it. We're going to talk a bit about some updates, some new and exciting add-ons and modules that we like to share with you, and also share with you a bit more about what's next for Add-on Mart. What's our vision? What would we like to do in 2024 and going forward? And then hopefully we'll have a bit of time at the end for some Q&A for those of you who have some questions. So when we initially had the idea for Add-on Mart, ever since I joined PortaOne and I met a lot of customers as part of my role as trainer at PortaOne in my early years, every time I spoke with customers, there was this idea that a lot of customers talked to me about, hey, we built this cool and this exciting thing, and are there any other PortaOne customers that might be interested in this? So there's always been this kind of idea that we'd love to facilitate some developments that some of you guys have been working on, and like to give you some sort of place to maybe share it, to sell it, and to have other PortaOne customers leverage some of the work that you've done. So from talking with you, we feel a lot we're quite willing to really share some of the things that you've done on our platform, around our platform, using the public APIs and interfaces and so on. So that was one of the things. The other thing that we noticed when creating Add-on Mart was there was always this feeling. Well, it's great, you guys develop so many new things, and but the problem is we always have to upgrade our platform, in order to take advantage of some of the cool things that you guys built. So this is sort of the second aspect to Add-on Mart that we try to address. So we wanted to, first of all, create a marketplace where PortaOne or third-party developers or PortaOne customers can share and sell some add-ons that they've built. And we wanted to give you a way to leverage, to activate those add-ons without having to upgrade your core platform. So those are the two most important aspects that really were the driving force behind building Add-on Mart. So today we have already a lot of the add-ons and modules available to you, and across a whole range of segments of the platform. So for instance, obviously you can access payment or e-commerce modules, taxation, notifications. So for instance, SMS notifications, and we'll soon have also some invoice or PDF generation modules available. And of course, there's going to be many portals that we've already have developed, and I'm sure there will be a few more that we will be working on in future years. So some of the benefits of this approach is that we want to give you a tool to maybe not only use portability for the core telecom services that you are offering, voice, data, internet access, SMS, and so on, but maybe give you some ideas of how to use portability for other purposes. So we already had a great YouTube clip last or this year that we shared about how to use portabiling for EV charging. So for charging of EV cars. So this is just one idea. So there's many other ideas, and if you're interested in that, we'd happy to share even more. So in some ways, we also want to make sure that when you're excited, when you build a new business model for yourself, that you don't need to create a new infrastructure for it, but rather use the billing platform that you already have. So we're trying to basically make that as flexible and open as possible to whatever business case, whatever business you come up with in the future. You already have a billing platform that you can utilize for it. And Add-on Mart really plays a very central role in that. So let's pick out a few add-ons that I'd like to highlight. And I think over time, since we started Add-on Mart, it's really turned out that Portals is one of the most popular add-ons that we currently have on the Add-on Mart. So just to give you an idea here, we obviously have the Cloud PBX portal. As a side note to that, we also offer a branded documentation portal for Cloud PBX. So when your customers start using the Cloud PBX portal, which is obviously very user-friendly and very intuitive to use, we still get requests to have some sort of minimal documentation available. So we can help you with that if you're interested. We have the Cloud PBX sign-up portal, the mobile account self-care portal, IoT portal, partner portal, which was actually the very first one that we had. Plus a few maybe lesser known ones. So for instance, a click to call or a WebRTC web widget, which is quite interesting as well, because it allows your customers, your SMBs or your enterprises to have a web widget on their website that says call me, and then the actual end user can directly click that WebRTC widget and make a call to the call center directly. And of course, some SMS notifications that we released recently. So just to share some success that we had for some of these portals, we have currently 21 PortaOne web instances activated. So those are individual instances or individual brands that we helped some of you with. We also have 18 instances of Cloud PBX portal currently activated. So just to give you an idea, those are some of the numbers that we've currently seen across Add-on Mart. So what's next for Add-on Mart? What are we working on? We are trying to have a bit more diversification on Add-on Mart. So what I mean by that is we're working on other aspects of portabiling that leverage third-party web services, for instance, PDF generation. So here the goal is to give you a much more user-friendly way of customize PDF invoices. Obviously, we have built-in PDF generation available, but we realize some of you may not want to use it. It may not be as user-friendly as you like it to be. So we want to give you the tools or other tools, open up the avenue to say, look, you can use whatever PDF generation tool you'd like to use for generation or for designing of your PDF invoice templates. We're working on a few more third-party apps that we'd like to launch on the Add-on Mart. There could also very well be, when I started creating this presentation for you today, there could very well be add-ons for add-ons. So if you see Cloud PBX portal as a platform, there could very well be add-ons that you can optionally activate to improve the Cloud PBX customer experience for your end customers even further. We're working on call recording or voicemail transcription as a feature request. And again, this would leverage third-party transcription engines, for instance, Google or AWS. So we want to make sure that you're able to use whichever transcription engine you'd like to use and make that available on Add-on Mart. APIs is a very interesting topic. So most likely you'll see some APIs being launched in Add-on Mart. So for instance, we have a charging API. So it's a very lightweight wrapper around HTTP wrapper around radius and diameter, which would give you or your developers, your engineering teams, much better ways to, in a very lightweight way, to access charging capabilities and portability, including locking of funds, authorization, and then, of course, the charging aspect to it. The goal is definitely going to be to encourage many of you to maybe share some of the exciting plugins and add-ons that you've built. So let's do more business together. And I, do the call out to you, and let's build the PortaOne customer ecosystem, and encourage you to maybe share some of the things that you've built, and the side benefit to that would be to maybe earn some revenue share back on any sort of activations of third party or tools that you've built and decide to list on the Add-on Mart. I also see that we will grow our existing catalog of PortaOne workflows. So those are the integrations and automations that we've built on our Boomi platform that we make available to you. So we'll see many, many more integrations in our catalog for you to immediately activate if you wish. And one idea that we've been sort of toying with is also, if we look at the idea of a VAS marketplace, so if this is something that is helpful to PortaOne, it's helpful to PortaOne customers, then we can very much envision that it could be very much helpful for you to launch your own marketplace to your end customers, to your resellers, to your partners. And in that case, we may even decide to offer Add-on Mart and the infrastructure that we build with charging and logging and authorization and accounting interfaces, and basically make Add-on Mart available as an add-on. Thank you so much.